Alright, I think we should have sound now. Switch over to being on live streaming. Let's unmold some stuff while we wait for people to show up. Oh, hello! How are you, Nate? It still says 0 viewers for some reason, even though I can see you in the chat. It's so strange. It probably updates a little bit slower. So I'm just gonna unmold this stuff first, since I need these molds to make more. Oh, now it says I have 3 viewers, which I think I'm one of them. I think it just updates slower than the chat. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna need these molds to make more dice, so. You can see me unmold more space dice. Ooh, as usual. And then also some lily pad dice. Oh, well, there's a bit of a delay for me in general. Like, I have the software that I'm using to stream open, and then also the, I have Twitch open, and there's video on both. It's kind of strange to watch. But the chat's on one, and then I have an actual live video on the other. Set this back up. Looks like I got some resin that went through, but that's okay. The nice thing is that it comes off of plastic pretty well, depending on the plastic, because resin is basically plastic. Oh, hi Shauna, how are you doing? We're gonna make some dice. But first I'm unmolding dice from yesterday, so that I actually have molds. The whole gang's here! So this should be the lily pad ones. You can kind of see them if it'll focus. See the lily pads in there? Couldn't plunder? What do you mean? What do you mean couldn't plunder? Are you trying to steal someone's loot? What? What? What do you mean, Nathan? I don't understand. Or is this... Oh, you're not home, Shauna? Oh, I figured Shauna probably realized this. Oh, I guess I'm the only one that would realize that it's... Oh, I understand now. I guess maybe I'm the only one that, well, not the only one, but like, it makes sense to me that it's you, Amber, but maybe that's probably because I know that you tend to use your real name as a nickname. Alright, let's see if I can give you a little peek here. So these aren't cleaned up yet, but little lily pad dice. Come on, focus. Her real name? There we go. Little lily pads. There. I did them a little bit of a darker blue this time than the last time I did them, because they just weren't quite dark enough for me the last time I did them. The blue kind of blended in with the clear, and it didn't look great in my opinion. Alright, let me set these off to the side. I mean, you could change your Chinese name to be your legal name if you wanted to. Yeah, so what I did was I poured a layer of the dark blue, and then I painted the lily pads on top, and then I made little tiny, well, they're flowers, but they're just little tiny cups out of polymer clay, and glued them on top, and then I poured the clear. It still doesn't want to, you can kind of see. Except for on the D20 has an actual little polymer clay flower that I made. There, you can kind of see it there. Yeah, these ones take a lot more time, but they're fun to do, and I like how they look. I feel like they look really cool. Got these set up all right. I was worried about that when I was putting the lids on, they looked like they hadn't been mixed properly, but I think it's because I sprayed them with like way too much rubbing alcohol to break the surface tension. So I'm glad this turned out all right. This is the mold I'm gonna need for this dice commission. So I'm working on dice commissions today. I've got 3, woo! I'm working on one of them. We'll see if I get to working on another one. This one is it's just gonna be all colors, so I have all the things I need to make it. One of the other ones, I'm gonna have to make something out of polymer clay for it, which is fun, so we'll see if we get around to that tonight. May or may not, depending on how long making these takes. And then the other one, I'm waiting for some butterfly shaped glitter to come in from Amazon. I did actually shop around locally first, and I could not find what I was looking for, so I resorted to Amazon. Alright, so at the very least, I'm gonna make some commission dice, and then I'm gonna make some beach dice, like these ones, which I posted pictures of. These ones, unfortunately, some of them did not. Yeah, Amazon is Amazon. Not all of these turned out because of one of the pigments that I used. It didn't cure properly, but I'm just leaving that pigment out this time, and I think they'll look nice when I'm done, once they actually cure. These ones actually did turn out all right. These ones that I'm showing you right now. If it'll, here, come on, focus. I really like this one. Making some beachy ones. There's a couple though that here, I think I have them right here. Here's one. You can see if it'll focus on it. You can see how it's all chipped up right in here. It just didn't cure. It's all sticky, which is just unfortunate. Ooh, Edgar Allan Poe dice. That'd be cool. Do you have a particular thought for that, Shauna? Or, oh, here's more space dice. I've been making a whole bunch of space dice because I'm going to hopefully have them back up in the shop by Friday. Sanded some yesterday. But I've had at least 2 people reach out to me to ask if I was going to make any more space dice. So I'm like, yep. People want space dice, so we'll make some more of those. Can't really see all of the pretty chatoyancy in this light. It looks darker. If it focuses, maybe. But there's kind of this pinkish color through here. Come on. I don't know how it chooses what to focus on, to be honest. That's why I'm moving it around. I'm hoping that it'll... Oh, there we go. Switch it back. Ooh, changed the color there. There you go. You can kind of see the glitter and the chatoyancy in there. My fancy way of getting these out of the molds. It's probably not the best for my mold. I have this. This is the first mold. Here, wait. Let me show you something interesting. Here's the first mold I ever made, compared to a more recent one, and they're the same type of silicone. Look how pale this one is. I don't know why it did that, but it's so much more pale. I don't know. I might switch. Well, here's my original mold. You can see, like right here, it's torn a little bit. Right here next to this one, it's torn a little bit right there. It still works just fine, but I have used it. I've used it for quite a few dice. I might change what kind of silicone I use in the future. Just for a sturdier one. I don't know if this is the sturdiest. I should actually probably do some more research. Alright, I have a question on this one. We'll see. So this mold's different. I testing out a different... Peyton won't stop climbing on you, aw. Hi, Peyton! This was a different kind of mold, sort of, that I was testing out, where instead of... here, I'll show you. On one of these, the lid is lined up right at the corner, the edge. Whereas on these, it's all on one face. So the idea is that on these, I kind of end up having to sand multiple sides to get these little ridges flat. But on this one, the idea is that I'll only have to do one face. Oh, that might be a little bit better. The problem is that it's been elevated a little bit. Well, we haven't seen Peyton in so long that it's still, we still think of her as being tiny, Shauna. You can't see it as well on here, which is good, because I push it down a little bit more, but there's a little bit of a, oh, if it'll focus. It never wants to focus. There's a little bit of a ridge here, so it's a little bit taller. So in the past, on like this D4, it looks better this time, but I've gone to sand it down and I've lost the numbers. And I think I've fixed that issue now. It looks like on this one, it's not as tall. I think it'll be okay. But that's why I made this mold like my original one. It's because I decided it was easier in certain ways. I have more failed dice with this, but when they work out, they're easier to sand. That's kind of the trade-off. Although I think I am getting better at using this one. You're gonna make a dice cannon, Nate? I mean, I did just sort out all of my dice that don't look great earlier today. They're just right here. See, I have all sorts of dice that I'm not using. These are sharp edge dice. Yeah, I do tend to call these mini caltrops. You don't want to drop those on the floor. There's different styles of dice. There's sharp edge dice, which is what I have, and rounded edge dice. Okay, this set seems to be working out nicely, actually. These are also harder to get out of the molds because the tops are smaller. I do have a book that's all about using office equipment to build, like, weapons. That's a fun read. I should actually use that at some point and build something. Oh, and it's straight up like things that would hurt. Amber, I feel like you should be. What? Oh, does it blank it? Oh, it blanks it out for you if someone swears. Well, it's still gonna be blanked out for her, Nate. If it blanked it out on Amber's. Oh, there's a chat filter. I didn't realize that. I don't got mods or anything. So it was actually blanking it out. Guys, this is not what I want my chat to turn into. Why? Okay, all of those are out now. Let's clean out this mold a little bit. So. Let me just send a quick message, because I did actually invite the person that I'm gonna make the dice for, and I wanna just message them again, make sure they know. I debated on whether I should invite people whose dice I'm making or not, because it's one of those things where it's like, I make a mess when I'm making things. So it's like, do I want people to come see how much of a mess I'm making while creating items for them? Or should it remain a mystery? How the sausage gets made, as it were. But this one, I'm figuring it should go okay. And if it doesn't go okay, I'll just make a different set. But I have a pretty strong plan on what I want to do. Nate, you know, whenever you're in the chat. Alright. There's my bonus D4 mold where I just put all my extra resin. Oh, that's kind of pretty, actually. You're lost, Shauna. Oh, no. Just a second here. Yeah, I have a few things that I do with. So each set of dice takes about exactly. You're gonna make me uncomfortable? Yeah, I get uncomfortable so easily. Each set of dice takes about 30 milliliters of resin. And my measuring containers go by tens. So I usually do about 40 milliliters of resin. So I end up with quite a bit of extra. So I usually end up filling my spare D4 molds, which I've been sending like a bonus D4 of like a different pattern than what people order with all the orders, or you know, just like this one. This isn't actually a design, it's just extra. And then also, I'll show you the other thing I've been doing, which I'm sure I showed before. This one's just another space one. I'm actually debating on commissions if I want to. That silicone mold? I mean, I could, sure. I could use the dick shaped silicone mold for resin. I haven't used it for soap, but I wouldn't be able to use soap in it afterwards, since this isn't really like body safe necessarily. It's fine for jewelry and that sort of stuff, but you don't want to like use it for dishes. Yeah, it's still a little sticky, unfortunately. Did it clean it out finally? Oh, good, it did. Yeah, the same stuff. You should ask Shauna why in the world I have a dick mold, and it's because Shauna got it for me at one point. Yeah, so this is the dye, the blue on the end there that didn't set up properly, and I had some in the bottom of this, but I think I finally got it all out, but it's still a little sticky, which is just unfortunate. But I do have a lot of crystals and other random pieces that I need to figure out what I want to do with. I feel like I could turn these into pendants, though. All of these little crystal ones. Just get like a mystery crystal. Oh yeah, I was thinking of turning these into keychains. I made a little key mold, key-shaped mold out of an old key. Now let me put these back away. If I mean, technically I could copy a key, but I don't know how strong it would be. The kind of resin that I use is not, it's not a hard cast. I think it might break. It's basically just plastic. The idea I don't know what the key's for. It was just a bunch of old keys. I have a whole bunch of old keys. I don't know where they're from. And the thing is, I don't know if this would work because I worry it would break off in the lock. Because it's plastic, basically. That's basically what resin is it cures and it turns into a plastic. Yeah, don't really want to break that off in the lock. I could get a harder cure resin. Those do exist. I've seen like hard cast, which would probably work better for like bookmarks and maybe coasters and stuff, which I've looked at getting because I do kind of want to make bookmarks and coasters and stuff. But yes, I could make a mold of a key. That's how I made this one. We have some old locks. I mean, yeah, if you want to try it, sure. We can try it if you want. If you get me a key, I can make a mold of it. Ah! Shouldn't take a ton of silicone for that. Let me throw these all back here in here with the other random bits and bobs. Oh, here's a rose that I encapsulated. I put it in a die at first, and then I accidentally messed up the die. It was when I first started. It was an old mold too that I wouldn't really want to use anyways. But okay. Anyways, let me get these out of here. Finish unmolding things. We have all of our molds back and ready to go. Alright, some more mushroom necklaces. Like I said, I end up with extra resin when I make dice, since I usually make about 40 milliliters and a set of dice takes 30. So I've been doing mushroom necklaces at the same time. Oh, I probably don't want to take these out actually. We're just gonna put that back in there. Put that thing back where it came from, so help me. Yeah, that should be good enough. I just dented it with my finger, but that's okay, because I'm just gonna set these up so we can put a couple dabs of clear on top and finish these ones up. You get to see my super exciting process for putting loops at the tops of these, which is little pins with little flat bits at the end that I glue on. Why am I not removing them? Oh yeah, because I'm gonna glue this to the top, and then I'll add another couple drops of resin into it to seal it in there and make them stronger. Since a little bit of Elmer's glue is not going to hold these on. I could do something like UV resin or something, but this seems to work just fine. Just a little dab of Elmer's glue on the flat part. And just stick that standing up. So I'll cast those in there, and then sand the top edges because they get a little sharp or messy, and those will be good to go. Alright, let's set those aside for now. Okay. So I think, let's check. Alright. I think we're all set to go. So let me show you what we're working on first. So the first commission here is a set of dice based on the Grand Prismatic Spring. How long will I be on? I'm not sure, Shauna. Probably at least an hour. You don't feel like you have to hang out the whole time if you don't want to. But there's going to be a couple of steps on this, and I might work on some polymer clay stuff after this. I'm not sure yet. Depends on how I'm feeling. You need to drive home. Where are you, Shauna? But I'll probably still, depending on where you are, I'll probably still be on once you get home, if you want to hop back on. I'll be here for a little bit. Probably till 8:30 at least. So, the plan. I could draw this out actually. Grab. Yeah, this works. Found the papers. It has old soap thoughts over here, but ignore that. So the idea is, here's the die. I'll draw upside down. So this is going to be the bottom of the die. This will be the top of the die. I want to go from kind of the orange all the way up, and then I want it to be mostly blue. That's kind of the... Oh, so you're not far from home. If you're over by my house, you're not far from your house. We live nearby. Oh, anyways, the person who requested these really likes that kind of tealy blue color in the middle there. Not necessarily the really, really dark blue, but the teal color. Yeah, please don't crash into my house. Girl, there's a pandemic on. Interesting. Oh, anyways, the person that requested these dice really likes that tealy blue color and the really clear water. So we're gonna go with translucent colors, and I'm gonna go for mostly that teal color. Almost half of the thing is gonna be that teal color, and then it's gonna be kind of an ombre down to kind of the darkish orange color, which is why I brought this out. This is all of the different pigments I have. I do actually have pigments picked, but I was just gonna show you that I have some options for clear blues. They look very similar on the stream. The problem with this setup is that I can't, it's very hard, I need to figure out a better thing to put all of these on, because they don't like to move around. Okay. Clear blues. Got a few options for clear blues. And they said they want to kind of, they like the tealy blue color, so I'm just going for this one, which looks more blue, I think, on the stream. But I have colors picked out. Let me pull those into frame. Oh, but the plan. So at the very bottom here, I like that sort of brownish, orangish color on the outside, and I kind of want to have a little bit of that at the bottom, but I don't want to use an opaque pigment because my mica powders are heavier than my my translucent dyes, so it'll make it uneven. So what I'm going to do is I have this kind of copper color, which reminds me of kind of the color on the outside of the orange. And so I'm going to dust just the tiniest little bit of that into the very bottom of the molds. Put a couple drops of black so you won't even see the black, but it'll make this pop. And then we're going to move to orange, which will hopefully kind of give a little bit of a transition between the copper, because it's going to overlap the copper a little bit, and then also come out of the, be a little bit taller than the copper pigment down here. Little tiny bit of yellow. I have a lot of colors because I want this to be a really smooth transition, apart from kind of where this is. So the first thing we're going to need to do is put a little tiny bit of this into the molds. Let me put these back before I knock them all over. Oh no! I have so many colors out here. And this is actually maybe a little bit darker, but I'm just going to add a little tiny bit on the top to give it a little bit more depth, is the idea. Not a lot. It's mainly going to be that tealy blue color. So, I don't know why I shook that. That was a terrible idea. I'll open this over here. Hopefully it's not... Okay, we're good. Since it's very dusty. I just want a tiny little bit for the very bottom, just to make that orange a little bit earthier. And this is kind of what I did on, I made some dragonfly dice. Yes, luckily the lid was on. and I dusted some metallics. Yeah, here's some examples. You can kind of see they look metallic almost. Into the mold first, and then put black behind them. This is what happens when you put the black behind. It kind of really makes the color pop. These are all scratched up because of some tests I was doing with sanding. It doesn't work. But it gives you an idea of kind of what happens when you do the color with the black behind it. Makes the color really good. I do like the gold too, but I didn't use that one for the gold. Alright, so we're just going to add a little bit into the mold. Let's see if I can. Just going a little bit. I want it to be kind of on the bottom, but go up a little tiny bit. So you can kind of see a little bit of overlap, but not too much, because we do want it to mostly be that blue. Okay, there's a little bit. And this stuff on the edge, I saw a trick for getting this off. A little on the edge here, and I don't want it at the very top. Just take a little bit of tape. And this is like a very fine dust, and it'll just stick to the tape and come right off. I don't want it all the way up here. So yeah, the mica powders can get everywhere though. So I'm trying to use them sparingly. And there's a little bit of that copper color that should fade with the orange and kind of look like the outside. Yeah. Yeah, these dice are so small that, like I said, it takes about 30 milliliters of resin to fill up the whole set of dice. Oh, you use mica powders with makeup? Oh, well, a lot of makeups are mica powders, or have mica powders in them. I have a whole bunch of mica powders because that's what I use. Not this one. But I have a whole bunch of mica powders because that's what I use to color soap. Which is very convenient that I already had a whole bunch that I could use. Oh, this brush has gotten so fluffed out because I do this so much. Not with this necessarily, but this is what I use to put the holographic glitter into the space dice molds. So it gets a lot of use of just being shoved into molds and wriggled around a whole bunch. Alright, I think I'll come back and clean these up. I think it'll be easier to just do those all at the same time. Have I made any more decisions about soap? Not really, because I enjoy making it, but I do also really enjoy doing this, and I have a lot of ideas for this. My main issue is that if I make a set of dice, they'll last for years, but if I make a bar of soap, it won't last for, it'll last for maybe like some of my soap will last longer, but it'll last for a year, and then it can go bad. It really depends on what oils you use and that sort of stuff. And I can't make small amounts of soap. The kind of soap that I make, you know, the minimum number of bars I can make at a time is 10. I can make 2 pounds of soap at minimum. I could make a pound, I suppose, but it gets a little difficult, to be honest. So yeah, that's part of the reason I started selling soap, is I was just making soap because it's fun to make, and then I had so much soap. I had no idea what to do with all of that soap that I was making. Because it's fun to make, but again, it's a lot of soap. And I was giving it to people for presents and stuff, like, I made soap, have some please. I mean, I just gave you guys some soap because I'm like, I have so much. Okay, I just want to get a little bit down in that crevice there. Yeah, that's good. Just the tiniest little bits on the bottom. Yeah, cleanliness is, yeah. You're gonna be very clean with all the soap because I make so much. Yeah, if I make one batch of soap, I have molds to make like 10 bars and molds to make like 25 bars at a time. And I have actually used the 25 bar one. I did make soap for a bridal shower at one point. For a family friend. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clean that up. And that's kind of fun to do. And I think Christy at one point was talking about soap for a wedding. I think it was Christy. Which, you know, that works great for me. It just, you know, bridal shower, yeah. Well, yeah. It's a shower. Okay. Alright, we're almost done with this. Alright, a little bit in the D20, and then we're going to go back and clean these up a little bit. I do like this copper. It's very shimmery. I can't see, the color doesn't show up as much on the camera, but it's very coppery on mine. Oh, sure, now it decides to I don't know. It doesn't want to focus when I want it to. Just a little bit in the bottom. I do want to get in all those corners though, so I don't have black showing through really. That's not what I want. I'm just going to add a couple of drops in the bottom anyways though to make the copper shine. Okay. I do think that the copper will look nice with that tealy color though. I did have amusingly, my green alcohol ink looks more blue, that's this one, than my blue alcohol ink. I've had so much trouble getting a good green in alcohol inks and pigments. Let's just get a little bit in here. I just want to make sure these are all covered. Alright, I think I got a hair from a brush there. God, get out. I don't want that in there. Okay, cool. Alright, I think that's good. Let me just clean up around these so that we don't have a whole bunch of copper at the top, which is not where we want it. I don't know how old this tape is. This seems like very old tape. Maybe it's not, but I'm pretty sure I found it in a box of tape and stuff from my grandparents' workshop, which they haven't used in a while. My grandma's been using her Cricut. She's moved to that. She doesn't have as much finger dexterity, so she's doing really tiny paper things. I don't know. You say tape is tape, but I have found tape old enough that it did not work anymore. It was so brittle. It was like crunchy. Okay, let me give a new piece and maybe clean up in these molds a little bit if we need to. Right here back. Nope, that's okay. What's a Cricut? A Cricut is a, it's kind of like, yeah, she has a Cricut do it for her. It's like a paper cutter, or, well, she's been doing shirts and stuff, so you can, you go on the computer and you have your designs, and then you put your different sheets through, and it will cut out the designs for you. So she's been doing a lot of, like, shirts with like words and stuff on them, or different pictures. I'm trying to think of an example. But she also did some like, she has some like Halloween cards sort of outside her front door where it's, you know, she has orange and then there's like a scene cut out in black that she placed over the top. So the Cricut cuts out does the cutouts. You then have to remove all of the little pieces that get cut out, but it does all the cutting for you. And then you do it with all sorts of things. Yeah, kind of like yeah, you can do your own patterns. I think she's been doing mostly pre-existing patterns, but she's been having fun finding things and picking colors and setting them all up. But yeah, kind of like an embroidery machine where you make the pattern on the computer and then it cuts it out for you. Well, or embroidery machine embroiders it for you. I don't want it up this high. Let's get some of this off. I had up to 7 viewers at one point there. I don't know who it was. Probably people that were concerned with me using your names or something. I don't know. If there's anyone else out there, please come chat. I like chatting. I wonder if there's a way for me to see who's in viewing, because I feel like there is when I'm watching. I might be able to do that. Oh, I just realized I have this up by my face and not where you guys can see it. That's great streaming technique. You did probably scare them away with the dildos. That's probably what happened. No, it was after that. It was after that people popped in. And another hair from the brush. Let's pull that out. Yeah, you can see how orange this has gotten. Orange and shimmery. This is the exciting process of soap making. Soap making. Oh my gosh, I'm not making soap. Dice making. Did Nate go to to play games with Shauna? Where he's disappeared to? Oh, no. To be fair, I put on YouTube videos and streams and stuff in the background all the time, so I'm kind of just giving you a hard time. I watched a lot of, oh no, I should check that on my masters. Does that 2 have a problem? Just saying things out loud. Wondering why I'm not responding to you when you say things out loud. Not typing them down. Yeah, it's probably got to be a little bit weird since we do usually chat via Zoom. But yeah, I'm talking and you're not. It was great. I had no one show up last week. I still talked for 2 hours. I'm great at just talking to myself for 2 hours. Yes, I have one. Wait. Do you like my nails? My nails are getting long. Some of them anyways. And then they break. But used to put tape on your nails, pretend they were really long nails. Yeah, I use my hands so much. I feel like I would just... I feel like it would get in the way if I got like acrylics or something. I do think they're cool though. I like watching like... I watch a lot of YouTube, guys. I watch a lot of YouTube. To be fair, you know, I'm sanding for a couple hours on these. Just put something on in the background. Alright, let's make sure we have all of these cleaned up. We don't want that copper at the top. But yes, it is nice being able to... Oh, you know, oh, yeah, you know that I talk to myself. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's valid. I know I talk a lot. Oops, there's another brush hair. You've had the acrylics done? Oh no, you broke the screen protector on your phone with the acrylics? Wow, I didn't know that was a thing that could happen. Okay, I think we're doing good. I think we're almost ready to go here. Just double check all of these one more time. There's a little bit right in here. I just don't want, I want these to turn out good, you know? Now that people are paying me for things, I better make these good. Thor's hammer. What do you mean? What do you mean it was a Thor's hammer special? The blue color on it? Blue color on your nails or on your phone screen? Okay. I think we're good. I think we have the bottoms kind of filled in. Throw away all of this tape. Your nails were blue? Why were your nails blue? Wait, what? I feel like I'm missing something here. Okay, so I'm actually going to be mixing up enough resin for, oh, excuse me, 3 sets of dice. Move this, I don't think you need. Oh, okay, the acrylics were in blue. Okay. Okay. Yes, I'm gonna do enough resin for 3 sets of dice, because I'm gonna be doing this one, and then, like I said before, I'm planning to do more beachy dice. Beachy dice. If it will focus on the beachy dice. It won't focus on the beachy dice. Focus. Focus. I wonder how closely this can focus, actually. It might be too close. There we go. Some more beachy dice. So I want enough resin to do all of those. I have that stuff set aside over here. So before I do this, the liquid pigments I will add after I add the resin to the cups, but the non-liquid ones for the beach dice, I'm going to add a little bit to these cups first. I don't need a lot because the gold here is what kind of gives it that sandy color, and I just add a little tiny bit to the resin when I'm pouring it. Oh hey, you're gonna like the name of what I'm gonna, the technique I'm gonna be using for these, Nathan. This is called a dirty pour. Seems like something you'd appreciate. Takes just a little tiny bit of this Pearl X powder. Not a little tiny bit more. Yeah, the last time I did this, I accidentally spilled resin in this container and made a giant mess. And then I spilled this pigment all over the table. It was great. And then this one, ooh, this one's pretty, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's duo, oh, you can't really see it. It's duo blue-green. It just looks kind of blue for you, but it has a green shimmer to it. Yeah, I can't really see it on camera. Let me see if you can see it better with this one. Not really. And a little bit of this. That's probably more than enough. Okay, and let me set those to the side. Like I said, those are just going to take a little tiny amount. I'm going to do this one first. So let me get everything ready before I mix up the resin. Let me see if you can see that. Oops, I'll put these in the right spot so that I can find them later. And what's this? I put a picture there so we could see what we're working with. And now I'm covering up stuff with it. I could totally do a nuclear or Fallout themed dice. Where's that green? I have a fun fluorescent green that I feel like would work well for that. It almost looks more fluorescent in person. Yeah, it looks bluer there. This is a bright green. Maybe that and like a black or something. Even just that with like black numbers might look really cool. Like, well, this has some black swirls in it too, but like I did a hot pink with black numbers. I feel like just doing the fluorescent green with like black numbers might be cool. Something like that. Alright, I'm going to do this first because it's going to be little tiny amounts. Probably about 15 milliliters of this because I want about half of it to be that color. Okay, I think we're set to go. I can just put my mask on. To be fair, you say that it doesn't do the colors justice. It's not terrible, but I am just using a webcam, so I don't know. I feel like that's kind of on me. I don't know. I'm new to this whole streaming thing. I'm new to this. Okay, let me put my sprayer on. Safety first. I'm gonna sound kind of funky. It's gonna sound a little bit. Oh yeah, it's not a terrible. I did actually get this webcam for possibly streaming stuff at one point or making videos if I wanted my face in them. But now I'm using it for this because I can move it around, which is I'm not gonna move it. I'll mess it up. Okay, let me get my gloves on. I've used these gloves before, can you tell? I may or may not end up using these gloves because I did get cheap gloves so they break easy. That's on me. I don't need that hand anyways, right? It's kind of funny. I think I'm gonna grab a different set of gloves. I'm just gonna tear these, I know. Oh, maybe not. Oh, I didn't tear them. Hey, sweet. Okay. Resin. And the other part. Alright, so it kind of did look like I had webbed fingers. Okay, so I need 3, 6, 9. This is in by 10, so I'm going to do 100 milliliters of hair in there. There's so much cat hair all over my house. They're not allowed in this room. It's still everywhere. There's another one. We can just blame my sweater, but it's chilly down here. Okay, so we're going to do 100 milliliters of resin, which means 50 parts of part A, 50 parts of part B, or milliliters of each. Alright. I tend to do the thicker one first because I feel like it's more unwieldy, so if I mess up, it's easier for me to fix it before I add the other part. It's going to be quiet while I measure things, or I will miss it. So I'm blocking it with my hand because the lines are very hard to see if I don't put something solid behind this. And just a tiny bit more. Come on, one more little gloop. Alright, there we go. That's it. Alright. First part. And the second part. That's 50. There is so much cat hair all over my house. Got it. There we go. 100 milliliters. That's true. Long hair does get everywhere too. I look forward to being able to cut mine. My hair is getting long. I've gotten to the point where I'm wearing it in a ponytail every day, which I'm like, I might as well just have it short. Oh, I was going to ask, well, I thought about this while I was pouring. Have any of you ever, like, gone to pour a cup of tea, like, pour hot water into your mug, and, like, you're looking at it, but you forget that you're pouring tea, and you pour hot water all over the counter, like, overfill your mug? Because I've done that fairly recently. I don't remember the last time you saw me with long hair. I mean, I have gotten progressively shorter with my hair, and then I've been working my way back out, it seems like. Don't know what I want to do next. Again, depends on what I end up doing. If I end up getting some sort of job, that depends. Depending on where, if and where I get a job. If I end up being able to make a career of making dice, maybe I'll do an undercut again. Sinead O'Connor? Who is that? That name sounds very familiar. Oops. What is she sung? And are you suggesting that I get a haircut like this person? Because I don't know, I don't know what she looks like. Oh, I have debated shaving my head. That is something that I've talked about for like a couple of years, but I don't know. The undercut was fun. I like having my hair kind of like cheekbone length, I think. I think that's where I feel the most me. So my hair's in between like cheekbone length and jaw length, somewhere in there. My hair's gotten straighter though too. It's not nearly as curly as it used to be. I mean, it's never been as curly as Edmund's, but he is a fro. I had an undercut. I have, I think my Etsy profile picture, not that my shop, but the me profile picture is me with the purple hair and the undercut. But I feel like if you're artsy, you can get away with stuff like that. Yeah, it's fun. I don't know. Hair is fun because it will grow, depending on who you are. So you can do fun things with it, and it's temporary. That's part of the reason that acting professionally does not appeal to me, is that I would not have the freedom to mess with my hair and stuff. Although if I did voice acting, it wouldn't matter. But I am having fun with the voice acting class that I'm taking. I don't know that I'd ever be good enough to actually do that professionally, but... Oh, yeah, Edmund's very particular with what he wears. If to be fair, if it's a dark color and it's a sciencey, nerdy pun, he'd probably wear it.
But he really only wears really dark colored shirts, like blacks or navies or dark green. I think he's had a red shirt before, but I don't know that he wore it all that much. But yeah, slightly nerdy shirts that are dark colored. He has his style, which is khaki pants and dark colored nerdy shirts. He does actually like tie-dye too. He'll wear dark, yeah, no jackets. Well, his favorite temperature is 33 degrees Fahrenheit, according to him. He likes the cold. He's built for Siberian winters. Yeah, I know, you would do great in Arizona. I don't know. I like metric. I don't understand. I don't know how Celsius works. I'll use it for like science equations and stuff, but I just don't know how it translates to human temperatures like Fahrenheit. 91. Oh yeah. See, that's too warm for me. I like anywhere from like the 50s to the 70s. Yeah, like I'm assuming you mean 65 degrees Fahrenheit and not Celsius. 65 is what my house is, the minimum that my house is set to during the day. I think I have a range, and I'm cheap, so I have a range of temperature. I think minimum during the day is like 65, and maximum is like 73, something like that. No, 78 to 88. Yeah. Well, I guess my house temperature, anywhere from like 65 to 73 is perfect for me. Cooler than that at night. I like it cooler when I sleep. Lots of blankets, but cool air. That's nice. So I have it set so it's a lower range at night. But this is getting pretty thoroughly mixed, I think. I'm not seeing any streaks. That's how you tell if it's mixed or not, is there shouldn't be any like streaks of some slightly different tone in there. You can kind of see it when you're mixing it, that it looks like there's two parts mixing together. There should be one homogeneous mixture. Okay, so we're going to do these first. I'm going to do these. Where do I want to take this? Okay, like I said, I want about 15 milliliters of this one, and these do have little size. I might go a little bit less than 15. I don't know if I want exactly half, but around 15. No, I'll go 15. Alright, there's 15 of that. Barest little tiny bit of this one, because this is just going to go on the lids. A little tiny bit. Okay. Littlest tiny bit of the black, because I'm just going to do a couple drops in each. Basically, just like littlest tiniest bit. Oh, actually, I'm going to take that out because I want to add the black to that. Okay. I think the next most is going to be the orange here. So I don't really want to do 15. Probably 7.5. 5. We'll go up to 5 on this one. Okay. These intermediate ones, the yellow and the lime green. I need a little bit more yellow because I don't want to mix the orange and the green. So a little bit more of this one. maybe 2.5. I've forgotten my math, but that's okay. Littlest tiniest bit of the screen. This is literally just a little transition one. I'm just going to add a few drops of this in between this and the other colors so we actually have some green. Okay. This is more of a bluish green. Can I speak up? Yeah, sorry. It's a lot quieter with the respirator on. I guess I was kind of mumbling to myself. What is it? Kept my room at 15 degrees C. See, I don't know what 15 degrees Celsius is, like in comparison to everything. A little bit of this one, most of that one, a little bit of that. Let me make sure that I've gone down. Hey, I've gone down almost exactly 30, but let's add a little bit more to a couple of these, just to make sure that we have enough. I'd rather have a little bit extra than not enough. Alright. A little bit below 30. That's perfect. Alright, let's mix all these up. Black is first. This black I'm using is 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, yeah, okay. If there's airflow, she dies. I don't know. It reminds me of, like, I think the myth of, like, that's how much black I'm adding. It's probably way too much. It takes so little of this black. I think it's if, like, sharks stop swimming, they'll die or something like that. Makes me think of that with, if there's no airflow, she'll die. Okay, there's our little bit of black. Just a little tiny bit. Alright, orange. I'm pretty sure that's fake with the sharks. I'm pretty sure they can stop swimming. I think it's true that they can't swim backwards, though. I think that's the thing. Alright, there's one drop of that pigment. I'm going to add a drop of this other pigment that I have, though, because it's just slightly opaque. And I want the orange to be a little bit more opaque than the others. Slightly. Ah! Yeah, I think it's sharks that they can't swim backwards. They're just not built for it. Alright, I know I'm mixing these vigorously, which is going to add... What was that? Is there glitter in there? I don't want that. That's a piece of glitter. Get out of there. Oh, I missed it. This is the problem with using lots of glitter. Did I get it? No. Come on. Nope, I didn't get it. I'm just gonna... Oh, there it is on the side. There we go. Yep, it's a piece of blue glitter. Get out of there. Get out of there. You're not wanted in there. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So it's like their filtration system works via movement. You can kind of see it's kind of opaque now. Not really, but a little bit. All these other ones should be completely translucent. Maybe more yellow. I do actually like these resin pigments I got. They really do have good colors. Oh yeah, it doesn't show up as bright on screen, but this is a nice bright yellow. It looks almost cooler colored on screen than it does in real life. A little tiny bit of the fluorescent green that I mentioned before. Give me just a second. One drop. It wasn't a great drop, but we'll see. Yeah, that wasn't a great drop. There we go, that might be a little better. No, is this not? Oh, the pigment has settled to the bottom. It looks like lemon syrup. This one, yeah, it looks a lot more cool toned in the camera than it does in real life. It looks a lot warmer toned. I think that's kind of what's happening, is the camera has kind of a cooler tone to it, maybe. It also, I think I need more light. I have a lot of light here, but it might look better if I had a little bit more even. I might ditch the fluorescent green. It's not doing much for me. We'll keep shaking that and add some more in a minute. Alright, let's add some of this green, quote unquote, which is still pretty blue. I don't know, there's just not a lot of like, it's looking fairly green. A lot of the greens that I have are really kind of tealy. They're not like a green. Yeah, oh, see, it looks blue in that camera. Oh, hello, happy buttons. Ah, that makes sense. Have a blue filter. Yeah, this is a webcam that I'm using, so it's quite possible that it's some sort of filter. Yeah, this does look more green in real life than it does in the camera. It's a little bit darker to match our other pigments. We want them to be about the same, not the same color, but about the same density of color. That's a little bit closer. Yeah, I'd say that's dark enough. Fluorescent green, it's not dark enough, but we'll add some more. Alright. Our main blue. This one is supposed to be blue, so I hope it looks blue. This one's different. This one's an alcohol ink as opposed to a resin pigment. And let's see if that's dark enough. Oh, that might actually be dark enough. Because it's not super dark. No, I'm gonna add another one. Oh, the green one. Yeah, no, it's not supposed to look blue. It's a little bit darker. I do like this color, but I want it to show up as having that much saturation once I have it in the dies, which are a little bit smaller. It's compact, but I want to. There we go. Oh, see, it's super teal. It's super teal for me, but it's so blue for you guys. This is one of my favorite colors right here. It's like a really kind of tealy blue-green color. Alright, and like I said, I'm going to just add a little tiny bit of this dark blue to add some depth. Little tiny bit. But see, that seems fairly true to color on camera. It is kind of a similar on camera. Alright, I think, let me see if I can get some of this going, and then we'll pipe all the stuff in. So what's everybody up to tonight? Anything fun besides hanging out on Twitch and listening to me ramble? Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. You can listen to me ramble. I'm okay with that plan. I'm glad that you ate dinner. Did I eat dinner? I might eat something after this. Edmund did make some chicken, but I did also eat. I had leftover macaroni and cheese at like 4, so didn't eat a ton. This is still fairly light in color, but I'm just going to add a little tiny bit, and I think it might be okay as a transition. No, it's not. It's not going to be... I don't want to add too much more of this. I'm just going to call it good. I may or may not use this. I'll decide once I start adding things. Ate dinner, that was exhilarating. Okay. Let's see here. So I have those, and I think I'm probably going to end up not using these because I have so little to add. Okay. I'm just going to add, like I said, a couple drops of black in the very bottom to make that copper shine. Literally like 2 drops. I want some on the other side of this number though. I'm just going to spread that out a little bit. I don't want to scrape the bottom because I don't want to scratch that copper color. Alright. Oof, that was not a good placement of that. It was not centered. It will be okay though. Just a little tiny bit of this. And this one be okay. Okay. And this one's literally going to be a drop into the D4, which is still going to be way too much, I'm sure. Alright. Make that copper. I'm going to flip this around so I can see. It's better that I see than you see. Sorry. And a little bit in this one. I'm going to have to clean that up. I've got a little bit at the very top there. I don't want that. Alright, and then to the 20. You guys can see my shaky hands as I attempt to put this in. Okay. Littlest, tiniest bit of black. You thought I said blood. You thought I said blood instead of black, or you just thought I said blood in general? Yeah, I didn't eat until late, so I'll probably eat some. Ew, let's not use that one. That has some glitter in it. I don't want to get glitter in these. These aren't supposed to be glittery. They're also not supposed to have cat hair in them. I've said this before. But I can keep the cats out of here. I can't keep the cat hair out of here. Add a little bit of blood. I do actually have a resin thing that has my blood in it. I don't know if I can show that on Twitch. I don't know if I can show that on Twitch or not. I don't know all of the Twitch terms of service stuff. So I might be able to, but I don't know. Is anybody in the chat? You guys probably don't know. If I can show you a piece of resin that has blood in it on Twitch, or if that is against guidelines. I don't know. I haven't been doing this very long, the Twitch thing. It's more orange to the middle, it's a little bit taller. Oh, did I already show it to you guys? Did I already show it on Twitch? Just don't tell any of the Twitch people. Let's add a little bit more of the orange. Like I said, I want to have a bit more of the orange because I want it to extend past that copper. It might have been Zoom that I showed it to you guys on. So a little bit more here. Add a little bit more to the D12 is always a little bit taller, so I want to make sure that I have enough to fill these. Alright. I did make sure that okay, I'm going to call that good. There's still a little bit of orange there, but that's okay. Oop, air in there, but that's okay. Okay, we don't want a ton of yellow. There's not a, if you look in the reference photo, there's not a ton of yellow. I just need something to act as a buffer between the green and the orange so that they don't turn to brown. So I'm trying to add just a little tiny bit as that transition. See how it goes. It may or may not work. And again, if this doesn't turn out exactly how I want it, I will just make another set of dice. I'd rather make something that I'm happy with. And not everything turns out looking exactly. I'm trying to kind of make it so that it lays on top and doesn't just fall into the like sink. Did I add these to all of this? So it doesn't just sink into the center. I want it to actually make a layer for the green to rest on top of. So I'm trying to swirl it around a little bit. Not swirl, but layer. Place it down gently. Okay. I'm gonna call that good on the yellow. I'm gonna add the little tiniest bit of this neon green because I don't know. But I think it might help with the transition because it's kind of yellowish. I'm literally going to only add a couple drops to extend the yellow a little bit. Might turn brown, who knows? Okay, we're getting into the cooler colors now. I could cure in between each layer of each color, but I want these to kind of blend together, so I'm not doing that. But if it blends way too much, turns brown, I might end up doing that in a future set. Okay, let's try this on the. And they look kind of brown straight down at the moment. That doesn't mean that they will necessarily once they're on, like, if you look at the side. So we'll see. Put that in there. Look at that last little bit. The D20 is a little bit bigger, as is the D12, so put a little extra in there. Alright, on to the main color. This one I'm kind of less worried about. So I'm going to fill these up pretty much the rest of the way with this color. That's the idea anyways. Let's see if this is dark enough. I don't know if it's going to be dark enough. It is looking kind of cool on top though. It's looking kind of green here where I have like the yellow underneath. It looks just black on there, it looks like. At least from what I can see. I'll bring you down for a closer look once I get these all poured. I'm trying to, again, kind of lay this on top and not break the surface of all the lighter colors. And I want to overfill these a little bit. I want there to be a little bit of a dome. Because I want a little bit of extra resin so that when I put these in the pressure pot and all of the little tiny micro bubbles get compacted, there's enough extra resin to fill in that spot. Which is why I want it to be domed over a little bit so there's a little extra resin, and then I also put a little bit of resin on the cap itself before I trying to get it so it's on top. Okay. I might have just enough. Okay, let me add some to the D12, because if I don't have enough to fill, I'll add a little bit of that dark blue color. The D20 and the D12 take a bit more than the other dice. I think I'll be good. I think I'll have just the right amount. If not, I can always steal a bit more of the clear. I'm just gonna steal all the little bit that's in here. Yeah, I have just enough. Just enough this steal. You can have a little bit right here. Okay. And then this slightly darker blue, I'm gonna put on the lids. And it's not too much. It's not really that much darker. It is more of a blue as opposed to the tealy kind of color. I just think it'll give it a little bit of kind of a depth to it. Because if you look in that pool where it's super deep, it's a little bit darker. I like that, how that looks. It makes it look deeper. Okay. Alright, before I put this on, a couple things. One, I want to put this on my tray because this will spill over. I just have a couple of old plastic PV gloves set down here. The resin peels right off of them, which is nice. Okay. And I don't know if you can see. Oh, here, I was going to bring it down. It does look actually pretty black. But you can kind of see there's some bubbles there. So to get rid of those, some people will run a lighter over it or a heat gun. I use rubbing alcohol. It doesn't affect the curing and it breaks the surface tension. Oops, I just sprayed my keyboard though. It might take a second there, but it breaks the surface tension. I have all the bigger bubbles. And just let me make sure this is all spread out. Make sure all the numbers are filled in a little bit. And the idea here is just to prevent any air getting trapped when I flip this over on top. I don't want any air to be trapped in the numbers here and then create a void. Okay. Make sure there's no big bubbles. Spread it out. Alright. There's those. And then we'll rest down. Okay. So the other ones that I'm doing, that's those all set. I'm going to make two other kinds of dice. Oh, before I do that, let's add a little bit of resin to these pendants that I had at the beginning. Just a couple drops to keep the metal parts there attached, and I'll put them on here probably after I get these put on there. Alright, this one's fun. This is called a dirty pour. And again, if anybody has joined, I'm making beachy vibe ones. I don't know if you can see that. So this is called a dirty pour. So what I'm going to do is I have my base resin here. I'm going to add a couple drops of this blue. Probably 4, but and then I'm going to mix that up, making just a blue. Ooh, that's darker than I was thinking it was going to be. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Alright, so I have a dark blue resin. What was fast? Instant blue, yeah, it really is. Welcome to the pigments. That might be darker than I really wanted. That's okay. Yeah, it really is darker than I wanted. Did I use the wrong blue? Oh well. I should have added a little bit to this before I turned it blue. A little bit to here. A little bit to here. Again, should have done that before it was blue. This is the pigments. So this one's going to be all shimmery blue-green as I get it all mixed in. And this one is a gold, and I made the mistake, like I said, of dyeing it blue before mixing it in, so it's going to look kind of greenish almost. I could use a little bit more gold in here, I think. That's how I got resin in it last time. It's going to look a little bit more greenish, but once it's in the final thing, it's kind of mixed with the blue anyways, and it looks, yeah, I'm making a mess. It'll look more gold in comparison. Also, I just did this, which is probably way too much gold pigment. So now it looks more gold. It does look green, but it's okay. Oof, it's very green. I think this is darker than I had it last time. Okay, so here's what I do. I'll pour into this mold first. Actually, no, I'm going to pour into the other mold first. Because if I end up not having enough for the mold, I want the other one to not be full. Okay, so I'm going to pour just a little bit of this into a smaller cup. That should be plenty. And I'm going to swirl in a little bit of this blue, just put it on kind of on top there. A little bit of this gold, which unfortunately doesn't look super gold at the moment. And then I take a nice blue alcohol ink, which is a slightly different blue than the one that I mixed in. I put a drop on top there. I take a drop of my white alcohol ink. Ooh, if I can get it open. All that pigment has built up. I add a drop of that there, in between the blue and the gold there. And don't even mix it. And I pour that in. Kind of wiggle it back and forth a little bit so that I get some interesting texture. And then repeat. A little bit of blue. A little bit of this blue. This really is a fun technique to do. It's hard to predict how things will look when they're done. So, you know, there's always that. Because every die is going to turn out a little bit different. And I just dropped a little bit of extra white on that. Let's go do the D8. This one will probably have a lot more white in it because I dropped some extra white. I still have some in here. Let's fill up the D4 as well, since it doesn't take very much. Okay. repeat. That's the fun part, the part of not knowing how it's going to look. I think so. I think it's fun. I mean, obviously I have kind of a technique down, but it's always fun pulling things out of the molds. And sometimes they just did not work how you expected them to, and sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. I'm on a couple of I'm in a couple of Facebook pages, one of which for dice, one of which is people who make dice, and there's posts on there all the time from people who go, "This is not how I expected this to turn out, but I think it's cool." A lot of those posts. Alright, let's fill in the 10. Ooh. I like all the glitter at the top here. It's very dark for you, I feel like it. That. A little bit of this. Drop of this. Drop of this. Ugh, it likes to drip everywhere. This is a messy. It's called dirty pour, I suppose, for a reason. Yeah, sometimes things not going my way does turn out better. It's kind of fun not. To be fair, I've been doing a lot of kind of experiments and stuff, just to see how different materials go. And sometimes that's how I find things. I'm like, oh, hey, that actually looks really cool. I was just messing around, but that's kind of how I made dice for Edmund, my brother, which you guys know, unless there might be other people here. And I was just testing out some iridescent flakes and clear resin just to see how they looked in resin. And Evan was like, "That is my favorite design that you've come up with so far." I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay." Wasn't really a design. I was just testing out this material, but okay, we'll make you a set of dice like this, since that seems to be what you want. A little bit of blue green, a little bit of gold. Bloop. Bloop. Time for the D12. And a lot more of that blue in there. It's larger dice. There we go. Vitamin B12, yes. Now I said vitamin B12. Have to do it if you've planned in order to have a life that is offered. In this case, it is just dice, because I posted 10 sets of dice for sale on Etsy. 2 different kinds, 5 of each. Because I was having fun making them, and I was like, hey, I bet maybe some other people would like these, because I think they're fun to make, and I feel like they're turning out cool. And then I sold out of the one type. I'm like, oh. And then I had 2 people reach out to me and say, hey, are you willing to make more of that? I'm like, oh, this is actually something that I can do. I should have added more blue. Well, I'm gonna do a second pour for this same die. We'll see how it turns out. We'll see how it looks. This is the fun. I'm doing the exact same thing, but it's gonna go in the middle of the die this time. I'm just gonna get all that ink off the top. Okay, that one kind of reminds me of toothpaste at the moment, but that's okay. Let me set this on here. Alright, let's do the next one. This is my mold that's a little funky. I'll put this in D4. Alright. I think we have enough for one more set of dice, maybe. Yeah, actually I have like exactly 30 left, so I think we'll have just enough. Some toothpaste is really pretty. True, true. I hope that little bit of gold kind of elevates it from toothpaste to beach, but maybe I'll make a toothpaste soap in the future. Maybe not. My molds remind you of lotuses? How so? Just because they're kind of round with like the stuff going out, or? I'm curious to know in what way they remind you of flowers. I'm assuming you mean lotus flowers. Ooh, that has a lot of nice dark blue at the end there. I think that'll be pretty. Alrighty. This really is just kind of the same process over and over again. Getting slightly different results each time, which is the exciting part. Okay, drop of blue, drop of white. So what have you all done this week? Anything interesting? Doing any arts and crafts of your own? Are you doing any more, making any more rings, Amber, or got any of that figured out? Do any fun robotic stuff, Nate? Alright. Okay. You're on one of your Pokemon challenges. I feel like you're always on one of your Pokemon challenges. Which game are you playing? I don't know anything about Pokemon. You still can't figure out the robot at work. That one. That's frustrating. You're doing programming though. Oh, okay. This is gonna be the last one for a while. You gonna move on to something else besides Pokemon after you finish this one, Amber? Is that what you're saying, or? Alright, let's do the D12. Hopefully I have enough here. I might not. I might need to add more. Nope, I'm good. I'm good. Alright, I think I will have just enough. Can I repeat what? Oh, I was just asking if you were saying that you're going to move on from something besides Pokemon after this, Amber. If that's what you were saying. Okay, Nate's taking a break. Working on nuclear stuff. Batteries. I took a single electrical engineering class. I don't know. To be fair, you do know your electrical stuff pretty well. You do have a degree in it. Maybe not the math part, but the practical part. I'm the one that had to work with imaginary electricity in my single electrical engineering class. That one was interesting. It reminded me of, you know what it reminded me of? This is kind of a tangent, talking about electrical engineering. You know polarized lenses, how light kind of travels in multiple directions? Imaginary I have a whole bunch of soy wax if you want it, Amber. If you want to use some of it for candles. Beeswax is, I prefer beeswax, but it's also more expensive. Beeswax is harder and burns hotter than soy wax. But I do have soy wax if you'd like some. I got a whole bunch from my dad. Oh, actually, I have a whole bunch of paraffin wax too. Yeah, it's really weird, the idea of imaginary electricity. It's just bizarre. Like, it kind of makes sense to me if I think about it as vectors. If I think of it as electricity that is not traveling forward, but is traveling perpendicularly to the wire or whatever. That's how I visualize it. But it's just bizarre. It's yeah. I don't know why I have a math degree when I'm such a visual person, but I guess I don't know. Okay, there's that. All right. Last little bit here. Oh, you can't even imagine imaginary electricity? Is that what you're saying, Amber? But that's the only way you can think of it, because it's imaginary. Okay, I'm going to leave a little bit in here. That's going to be for doing the lids. Okay, we're going to leave a little bit here for the lids, but most of it's going to go in here. Imagination. Oh, it's like an electromagnetic field, you think, Nate? Like I said, I just imagine it as energy that's traveling perpendicularly, not parallel. I think of it as like vectors. Like applying a force, if you're applying a force in one direction and you suddenly, it's like how triangles work with statics, which that was a sentence that kind of made sense. Yeah. Yeah, no, it makes absolute. There's so much science stuff that just we do not understand. And I don't mean you and me, I mean humans. There's just so much random crap out there in the world that we don't understand. I feel like people like to think that we know everything. Does that make sense? Like, I'm sure there's stuff that we don't know that we don't know. Like, oh yeah, between you and I, there's a lot we don't know, but even humans as a species, there's a lot we don't know. Alright, cool. These are all full. Let me just add some of this to the lids now. I'm just going to scrape this up and add it to one of the lids, because why not? They're all going to be different anyways. That's the idea. Alright, honey. Oops, I just broke that stick. Don't be wasteful. To be fair, all of the... Oh, man, I am... All of the extra resin that I end up with, I have off to the side, and I have sort of plans for it at some point. Cut it up and you know, put it in some dice or some other resin jewelry or something. I've been doing pretty well with the resin pendants that I've made too. I had to make more of those because I sold out. Just gonna put this on here. me just get this last little bit of to be fair, it's the same with magnets or electromagnetic fields in general. I think everyone's just kind of like, I don't know. I saw a funny thing with with someone who did, I think they did like astrophysics or something, and they said if you really want to mess with an astrophysicist, ask them how electromagnetic fields, or maybe it was gravity, I can't remember. I think it was electromagnetic fields, how it factors into their equations, and that's the easiest way to piss them off, because no one fucking knows. Oh, wait. Oh, here, I'll show you in just a second. I have some, well, I call them party dice. Well, I have one. I hear that's Fitz. I hear Fitz outside of my door. He's unhappy that I'm in here without him. It's so sticky. This process makes such a mess. I remind you of your piano teacher? Oh, whenever whenever musicians mess up, they move on. That's just kind of a performance thing. Strong and wrong. That was what we always had in band, was if you're gonna mess up, be confident about it, because most of the time you're gonna be the only person, well, the audience isn't going to know what your music you're reading, so if you do it confidently, then maybe it was supposed to be there. Alright, there's the last little bit of gold. There's the last little bit of the blue-green. It's starting to get gummier because I've taken so long to work on this. Luckily it has a bit of a working time. There. Last little bit of blue-green. Blue. Wait, okay. Yeah, just pretend you know what you're doing. I mean, that'll get you a lot of places if you just pretend you know what you're doing. Okay, let's get some of this on the lid. Set that there. Happy little accident. I feel like, I just saw that comment from you, Nate. I feel like that's a lot of art things can be happy little accidents, like genuinely, like you do something happens that you weren't expecting and it ends up being like something new and exciting that you want to replicate. We were talking about that just a moment ago. Like there's so many. Alright. These are all good. Let me the deep blue color down in the it does look darker on screen, but thank you. I'm getting alcohol everywhere. Luckily it is rubbing alcohol, so it's not going to cause too many issues for the keyboard that I just sprayed. Okay, this looks good. Let's put this one on. And this one is a little bit more finicky. I'm going to do something that normally you're not supposed to do with cat molds, and I just press it down because I need it to kind of lock into place with this one. Okay, cool. So all of the dice are done except for let's do a spare here because I have some leftover blue and I think I might have enough. Again, it's getting very thick because I've taken so long. You can kind of, let's see if I can turn it so you can see. You can't really see how thick it is. Not supposed to what? What am I not supposed to do? Wait, what? It's quite possible I said that. I don't remember what I said 5 seconds after it comes out of my mouth, whatever it is. Oh gosh. Well, that doesn't work out very well. Alright, just like, So there's that. Surface tension on here. Oh yes. Normally you're not supposed to press down on these. The reason that I'm doing it with this kind is that this is the one where it's elevated off of the face a little bit. So like on this one where it's not, if I press down on it, it will make it so that there's not really extra resin there to fill in any gaps once I put it in the pressure pot, which would cause an issue, cause a problem. Alright, let's get all this extra. And just put all the extra resin in one of these. So what I'm doing is just yeah, it'll make gaps. The problem, so with the one with the faces that are kind of elevated, if I don't press it down a little bit, the way that I have them made, they won't kind of click into place. So they'll just stay super elevated, and I'll get a whole bunch of extra, which is does not really stand off all that well. So hope the idea is that by having all that, adding the resin to the face and everything, adding it to the a little bit of an extra, once I push it down, it should not have any big gaps. Oh no, is Nathan okay? He hurt his knee? That's not good. Okay, let me just add all of the extra colors here, because we'll start with the blue and we'll work our way backwards. Oh boy, maybe I won't be working on polymer clay tonight because I have made a mess of my space. So it might be a little difficult to work on polymer clay before this cures. So the polymer clay thing that I need to work on is for a different dice commission. Old man Nate. To be fair, I kind of have drop cloths. This white is not a tabletop. It's the sheeting from the back of a big sticker for like a sign. It's covering the black tabletops that I actually have, but it works out well because the resin peels right off of it once it cures. Alright. Oh man, my gloves are a mess. It was a big sticker. It was a sticker for like a sign, like a billboard sign. I have one. I actually have two of them because there was two sides to the sign. And the other one's on. I have two standing tables. This is a standing table, which I'm sitting at the moment. I have a stool, but I've put these kind of plastic covered paper sheets over both of them, and they've worked out great. I'm glad that I saved them. Where do I find these things? Well, in this case, it was for the apartments that my grandparents own. My dad was remaking the sign, and we went over to help. We made the sign for it 8 years ago or something, so we just remade it. Here. I think I'm gonna get to orange. That's fine. We can have a little bit of an ombre to from yellow to that blue. I can still hear Fitz outside. Can you guys hear the cat? Can you guys hear? Yeah, that's Fitz screaming outside my door. Yep. It's funny because I don't know that you guys will ever notice this, but I have 3 cats that will scream outside that door, and I can tell them apart. I know that that's Fitz out there right now. That's his meow. They all have different meows. No, I will let that cure, and then I will stick the little hanger, glue the little hanger on top, and then pour another little bit. And also, I don't know if I'm going to make pendants out of these. These are just, I'll bring out the other crystals again after I put these in the press pot, but I just have a whole bunch of random colored crystals because I need somewhere to put the extra resin, and I think they look cool. So I'd rather put them in something that I think looks cool. I also have a little tiny bottle mold, which I'll show you in a second as well. It has some stuff in it at the moment, but I want to add some clear to the top. I was thinking, so the little bottle mold that I have at the moment, it has some of this like beachy kind of stuff. How many of which kind of mold do I have? Amber? Anyways, I have some of the beachy waves left over in the little bottle mold at the moment. And it's not filled up all the way, and I think it'd be really cute if I did like a little tiny like origami boat on top of it and then filled it with clear. I feel like that would be cute. What I'm using, the crystal mold, I have 4 of them. 2 of them I've been using for the mushroom pendants that I've been making. Oh, I don't have any over here to show you. I took those up the stairs earlier. But I've been making mushroom pendants. And then the other ones here have been getting used for spillover. There's actually, these 2 are a different kind than those 2. These ones have a duller point than those 2. Which is part of the reason I've been using those for the what's the other one for? Let me attach these. I've been using the duller ones for the just the colors because I like the sharper point ones a little bit better, and so I want to use those for the kind of final product things. Okay, what is it going? Oh yes, I have my little trick here. So my crystals, their molds are obviously tall and a little not top heavy, but they'll fall over. So I'm going to take this, just going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom. Let's stick it down. Stick this one down. Ah, come on. Stick both these down. Alright. Stick these down all the way over on the other side here. I did have I did have only one crystal mold up until fairly recently, which was, I had already started making the mushroom pendants, and I was making them one at a time, which worked. And then my dad had gotten some resin stuff for his classroom, which he had got for his club. He was running a club at one point. And then since he went to do online stuff this year, he wasn't using them anymore. So I ended up with 3 more of them, and I'm like, woo! You just quadrupled my productivity. I can make more of these necklaces to sell. I need to make some more. I need to bake some more mushrooms. Okay, these are all set and ready to go in the pressure pot. So let me just. I'll let you come join me. Ooh, this computer's getting warm. I'll let you come join me as I put this in the pressure pot. All right. Alright, this should just take a minute. Just gotta make sure this is on here nice and tight so it doesn't leak air. Oh, there's a hair there. This one's got stick. I want these as tight as possible, or it will leak. Ow. I'm literally twisting these until I cannot anymore. Alright. This is what I like to make the most. Okay. This should just take a second. For the PSI. Alrighty. Yeah, I know I just grabbed it by the top and it's all warm out there. Alright. So I think that's, oh boy. Just kind of put it in my head. I'll just put it up here. I'll close that off. I don't think I'm going to get around to polymer clay tonight, but that's okay. I've been streaming for 2 hours. But I think, let me do one more thing. I just realized, before we head out, I'm going to do one more thing. So I still have, I'm just going to put on one of these gloves again. I just realized that I actually have a bit of resin left, and I'll show you where. Oh no. I have to refill the pressure pot. I can hear it hissing a little bit, which means it's leaking. I still have quite a bit of resin in here, so let's just get rid of that. Still kind of rainbow here. looks like candy. Kind of does look like candy. Alright, anyways, I think that's going to be it for tonight. I should be streaming, I'll be streaming again probably next Wednesday. I've been trying to do this. Does kind of look like a mango flavored candy. It looks yummy. I want candy. Or maybe I'll go eat some chicken. Go eat some actual food. Anyways, that's everything for tonight, I think. I'll do that polymer clay bit later. I might do that off stream. Maybe I'll just randomly pop on at some point and work on that. Maybe Friday. I've given myself Thursday as a weekend. But anyways, thanks for hanging out. I will see y'all later, hopefully. Bye.